Hi guys, welcome back to day 6 of our Pantry and No Spend Challenge. So today we're going to be talking about an item that we have in our pantry that is one of the top touted items by any prepping community that everyone should have in their pantry. And I'm going to share with you a recipe on how to use that item that's a Depression era recipe passed down through my family. So today's video, we're going to be focusing on beans in your pantry. Beans are often promoted as an item to have in your pantry because of the protein value in beans. And there are many different types of beans, whether it's your northern beans, your pinto beans, your kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas, which some people don't consider beans, but they're dried anyway. So today I'm going to be using pinto beans and we're going to be making a batch of old-fashioned baked beans. So for beans, whether you choose canned beans or dried beans is up to you. The benefit of canned beans is they're pre-cooked, ready to use, and a lot quicker and easier from that aspect. Benefit of dried beans is they have a very, very long storage shelf life as long as they're stored properly. And you want them in a sealed container somewhere that is going to be cool and dry, preferably in a dark area, not somewhere bright and sunny. So one of the downsides of dried beans is it takes a little bit longer if you want to make something with them. Now, some dried beans absolutely require being soaked for 4 to 6 hours or overnight because they have chemical compounds in them that need to be leached out before you cook them and eat them. Otherwise, it can make you ill and nobody wants that. So the beans that I'm using, again, I'm using pinto beans. I wanted to make these today. So last night I took 2 cups of the beans, put them in my bowl, filled the bowl with water, and let them soak overnight. And now I have my soaked beans ready for me to start my process with today. So though pinto beans and some other beans don't necessarily require you to soak them overnight, I still do. For me, it's a good habit to be in so I don't forget on a particular bean that I needed to soak it overnight. Plus, there are some other benefits. Soaking overnight helps take the burp out of your beans, or at least lessen it. It also quickens the time that it takes to cook your beans. Now, even though these beans have been pre-soaked, I'm going to take them, I'm going to drain them. That's another note I wanted to make. If you pre-soak your beans, don't cook them in the water you soak them with. You want to strain them, rinse them, and put them in fresh water before you either parboil or cook them. So let me get these strained. We'll come back and we'll start getting these ready to be parboiled. So after soaking overnight, the beans really have expanded in size. So these are the dry beans, these are the soaked beans, and you can see the difference in the size of them. Now, even though these beans that have been soaked are bigger, it's not that they're soft. They're still, I'm pushing hard with my nails, they're still very, very hard. So I'm going to parboil these or cook them until they split and start to soften before I put them back into this casserole dish and add the rest of my ingredients to make my baked beans. All right, so we're going to pour our beans into our pot and we're going to just cover them with fresh water. Now, the reason we're using fresh water, like I said, is we wanted to dump off the existing water they were in and rinse them to get rid of any residue or chemicals that leached out of the beans during that soaking process. So I'm going to take this pot, I'm going to go put it onto my wood stove, and we're going to bring these to a boil. We're going to parboil them until the skins start to peel. So I'm going to check them in about 15 minutes and I'll come back and we'll see how they look. So to share a little bit of history about the recipe that I'm going to be using today while we're waiting for our beans to get to a boil. My grandparents were born around 1900. My grandfather was born in 1898. My parents were born in the 1920s. My dad would have been 101 this year. So they all lived through the Great Depression, the hard times in the 30s. My dad fought in World War II. So they went through all the times when having food storage and knowing how to do things on your own were super important. So this recipe was something that was filling. It was hot. My dad was one of 6 boys growing up on a farm. His father died before he was 10 years old. So their mom was taking care of them with what they had, what they could afford. So it was either what they grew, what they raised for livestock, what they traded with other people. Back in those days, life was a lot different than the easy conveniences we have today. Now, the recipe that we're going to be using includes a couple of items that were in pretty much everybody's pantry back during the Depression. One of those is molasses, another one is a dried mustard. Now, both of those ingredients served dual purposes. They were used both for cooking and medicinally. And you're going to find a lot of Depression era recipes don't have fancy ingredients. There's nothing super special you have to go to a fancy store to get because people just didn't have those. Their recipes included what they grew or what they stored in their pantries. Today I'm using pinto beans because that's what I happen to have stored in my pantry. The thing to remember when you're doing recipes like this, it's what you have stored in your pantry. So whether you have pinto beans, kidney beans, which is what my grandmother used, yellow-eyed beans, which is what my mom always had on hand, northern beans, whatever type you have is the type you want to use. Now the taste and the texture may change slightly, but it's the rest of the ingredients that really make this dish. While our beans are parboiling, we're going to go over our ingredients. Now traditionally, your ingredients are going to be salt, pepper, molasses, baking soda, dried mustard, sugar, onions, and water. Along with, my mom always used a ½ pound of salt pork. And if you're not familiar with salt pork, it's the real fatty part that has very little actual meat on it. It's mostly just fat. And that's because that's what they had then, and that's what they used. Today I'm going to be using a meat substitute because we are vegetarians. And it normally calls for 2 cups of water. I'm going to be making mine a barbecue bean style. So I'm substituting 1 cup of barbecue sauce for 1 of the cups of water. So I'll be using a cup of barbecue sauce and a cup of water for my recipe. All right, we're going to check on our beans and see. All right, the skins are starting to peel back, and I'm going to throw a couple on this cover, and they're soft and squishy. All right, so they're ready. We'll get these drained and back over to the island in our container. So now that our beans are parboiled, it is time to get the rest of our ingredients in. So I'm going to start with my onions. Now, the recipe calls for a large onion. I didn't have a large onion left in our cold storage from what we grew last year, so I'm using 2 medium onions. My mom used to like to just cut her onions in half and put them in the bowl on the bottom before she put the beans in because she wasn't a big fan of onion. But I like mine diced, so those are in. Then we're going to use 2 teaspoons of salt. So there's 1, 2 teaspoons of salt. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. There we go. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to use just a pinch of my baking soda. So a pinch, if you don't have those fancy measures that actually have a pinch, literally is just a pinch between your thumb and index finger. And then just put that in. I'm actually going to add just a little bit extra. There we go. And that is to help with the burping issues with beans. It acts as a base. All right, so now I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm just using plain granulated white sugar. That's what the original recipe called for. There's 3 and 4. And then the ingredient that I think actually makes the flavor for baked beans, and that's going to be 1/3 of a cup of molasses. And molasses was a big time recipe ingredient during the Depression. It helped make sugar go further. Molasses stores for a very long time, as sugar does, so you don't have to worry about it going bad on the pantry shelf. They used it for breads, for cookies, for beans, and as I said, it helped medicine go down as well if they were giving the kids medicine that they needed to take. All right, so now is when I would add my 2 cups of water. I'm substituting our homemade barbecue sauce for 1 of the cups. And then for my other cup, I'm just going to pour it in here. So if you weren't familiar, a 1/2 pint jar equals 1 cup. So I'm just going to use that to help rinse this out. Rinse my jar so I don't miss any of that delicious barbecue sauce. Now, I'm going to mix this together, and this is the point where my mom, once it was mixed together, would take her piece of salt pork and put it right in the middle. I'm just going to get this stirred up, and it already smells amazing with the onion and the sweetness of the molasses and the tang from the barbecue sauce. And like I said, if you don't like barbecued beans, you can do the traditional and skip the barbecue sauce and just use your water. Now I'm going to be adding some of our vegetarian bacon. You can also use regular bacon, like I said, or the salt pork. I'm going to press mine down in because it isn't all fatty and greasy, and I don't want it to just dry on the top. And that's the recipe. Now I'm going to get these covered. I'm going to put them in, as the recipe says, a moderate oven, which is 350 degrees. And we're going to let these bake for about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to get the cover on these and get these in the oven. Well, it's been about 2.5 hours. I took the beans out of the oven and they are done. They have a nice thick juice with them. The beans themselves are nice and soft. If this was smell-o-vision, you'd be able to smell them. They smell absolutely amazing. So we're gonna have these with our dinner tonight, and I know they won't last too long, but I also wanted to mention we do store a lot of different types of beans. So we do have pinto beans, probably more of those than any other kind, but we also have black beans, kidney beans, northern beans. We do a 15 bean soup with lots of different types of beans in it as well. So if you'd like to see us do videos during this time with any of the other beans that we also have lentils, split peas, that kind of thing. Make sure you leave a note in the comments below, and we'll try to get that video in during this pantry challenge as well. And any other questions, any other comments, what your favorite beans are, your favorite way to use them, cook them, let us know. The more our community shares, the more we all can learn, and that's what this challenge is all about. It's about learning what somebody else does, getting a little more experience, not feeling pressured, but just getting an understanding of what you can store, how you should store it, and what you can make with it. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.